Welcome, everybody. This is Colette Colclough, founder of the Women's Leadership Forum and Vice President of Human Resources for Maryland Public Television. I'm coming to you live, but I'm coming to you from a special place. Okay, many of you may not think it's so special, but I think it's special during this COVID period. We've been cooped up, had to get out, and it's Valentine's Day weekend. And I made it. You know where I am? I'm at the Ritz. Oh my gosh. I'm going to thank my husband today, especially. One, because he promised me he would be silent while we're going live here. And second, because I'm being treated to the Ritz-Carlton in Tyson's Corner. I'm coming to you live in Tyson's Corner. I promised that I was going to come on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm doing just that. I'm coming to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. We come to you live on Facebook and YouTube with a broadcast where Monday we're talking about health and wellness. Wednesday, we're talking about workforce development. And on Friday, it's my friends. And so I can't wait to introduce the friend that I have here today. She's my newfound friend, my LinkedIn buddy, my new introduction, my new pal. And you're going to want her to be your pal too, especially if you have children. So hang on to your seats because I'm not quite ready to introduce her yet. I have some things to tell you. I wrote them down. Okay, let me just tell you, with the Women's Leadership Forum, what is that? It's a gathering, it's a tribe, it's a group of women who get together to uplift one another, encourage one another, share our resources so that we can get to the next level. So it's important that we stay connected, even during this COVID period, because you never know when you will need one another. And so if you are, you're a printer and you're trying to figure out who your next client is going to be, you may want to connect with us because there will be at our event, which takes place on March 18th through the 20th, right? We're going to be together Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You will find that there are many, many women who you can connect with that help take your business to the next level. And if not, you can help them get to the next level. We are sharing our resources, right? Not hoarding our resources, but sharing our resources. Each one of us has something to give, even if it's in our stories. Our stories become important. What we have to say becomes important. How we share helps us to excel. And so we try to get together annually. Last year, we got together at Notre Dame. We were in their gymnasium auditorium, and we all got together to talk about our businesses, talk about our families, our communities, and what we could do to advance. And that's important. We're not trying to stay static. We're trying to advance. And even though COVID may have us on semi-lockdown, right? We still have an opportunity to connect. We're connecting virtually, and that's what we're doing this year. We're connecting virtually with one another to share our resources. Now, if you haven't visited our site lately, I invite you to do just that. I invite you to visit our site, which is forwardwlf.org. I'm desperately right now looking for that banner, but it's forward, forwardwlf.org, and connect with us. It doesn't cost you anything to connect. You receive a lovely, lovely newsletter, right? And you also get an opportunity to browse our resources. Now, hint, if you've been on our website and you haven't been on lately, if you haven't been on this week, you haven't seen the changes that we've made. We've added, I can't even tell you how many vendors. we've added vendors, we've added sponsors, we've added additional resources that you can use. So I invite you to come to our website, which is forwardwlf.org. You can also find us through our hashtag, which is forwardwlf, and you will find resources that you need. Everything from math tutoring, hint, hint, to budgeting with Fulton Bank. So I invite you to visit our website. Now, don't come too late. And I'm telling you that, I'm giving you a clue. Last I checked this week, we were down to only having 25 tickets left in our upsell. And our upsell includes happy hour. Okay, but we do have our all access tickets. And our all access tickets gives you access to 3 days. Now, what I've heard from you all say is, how am I going to sit there for 3 days? Well, we're not asking you just to sit in your seat for 3 days. Don't do that. Now, I'm looking at Audrey, and Audrey's laughing. But we're not asking you to sit for 3 days. We're asking you to take advantage of the choices. We have April Ryan as our keynote speaker. We have Sheila Murthy, who's an immigration attorney. She is our moderator, and she's moderating a panel of women that span across the country. And we're talking about womanhood. Ooh. No telling where we're going to go with that, because none of it is scripted. Just like today's event, it's not scripted. We come to you authentically. Then afterwards, we offer you a menu of 13 workshops. Oh boy. And you will have, the difficulty in that is that this is over a span of 3 hours. You're going to have to choose where you want to be. This is where you can get out of your seat. And if you choose to spend it with the DJ, okay, you spend it with the DJ. I don't suggest that. I suggest you choose the finance class, or how to get a job, or how to budget, how to speak appropriately in a job interview. We are focused on jobs and getting you jobs. So we're asking you to even register to get hooked up with our recruiters. We have so much going on. You won't be able to just sit in your seat. You're going to have to get up and click and choose. So, while as difficult as that sounds, you're going to have to also figure out if you're going to join us on day 2, because day 2 offers you the opportunity to write that book, at least get started on that book, that article, that blog that you may have stuck in your head. We're going to encourage you to get 500 words on a piece of paper through Testimony Publishing, LLC. And that's being headed by Christina Johnson. I am so proud of her and what she has done, not only with her company, but even with her family. And if you haven't seen or perused our website, let me just tell you, she has written a book with her children. Actually, her children have written the book called Hip Hop Hair. And she has helped her children to write books as well as with adults, getting that messaging out of your head and on to paper in a fashion in which it can be published. So I'm inviting you all to join us in getting what it is in your head out on paper. Now, I also want to, in the middle of things and in the midst of this COVID, we have had one of our tribe members, if you will, they lost their partner. So I want to actually give our condolences from the Women's Leadership Forum to Sophia Cunningham, and located in the UK. We are so sorry for your loss, and we extend our condolences to you and your fam and your partner's family. I mentioned the UK because we are, as my father-in-law would say, we're worldwide. Okay? We're worldwide. We have people joining us not only from the UK, but from India. From India, we have people joining us from London. And so be a part of us. We're inviting you to come and participate in all that we have to offer. Now, I told you that I was coming from the Ritz. Okay, the Ritz Carlton. I wanted to make sure that we got an opportunity to talk to my guest who's in the purple room. You heard of the green room? Well, we have a purple room. Okay, and she's in the purple room, and I'm so happy to bring to the Women's Leadership Forum Miss Audrey Codner Gibson of ACG Math Tutoring. Welcome, Audrey, to the Women's Leadership Forum.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I greatly appreciate this time and attention with you all.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And so let me tell our viewing audience exactly, well, not all of who you are, because I'm going to leave some of that up to you,
Okay,
right?
thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to give a sentence or two, and then I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got, to the place where you are today. But I want to let the audience know that you are a former professional basketball player. Now, if the people who know me know I like basketball. So you're one of my favorite people, right? Former professional basketball player that turned into a secondary math teacher, right? And that was all while you were expanding your love for teaching, right? And learning to the online tutoring sector,
Yes.
Right? And so for some of us who may be math challenged, we are listening hard to what it is that you have to offer and to say. So why don't you just tell us just a little bit about your journey and how you got there?
Yes. So first of all, I am born and raised in Philadelphia, but I was really raised the island way with my Jamaican parents. So, if you have Caribbean family, your expectation is high.
You're the second guest that I've had on that said that, right?
Yeah. So for the most part, just growing up and have that support throughout my whole entire life, even till now. I didn't really start playing basketball until my ninth grade year. I never played, never had a club, didn't know. All I know, the orange ball had to go through the orange hoop, and I just had to do it the way it was instilled. And it took a lot of practice and a lot of time and a lot of effort, a lot of hot summers to really get to my level of craft that I was getting recruited my junior year of high school. Mm-hmm. So with all that hard work and all that determination, got me at St. Joe's University in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Full ride scholarship. And afterwards went overseas and played. I was in Sweden, Luxembourg, France, Germany for a little bit, Ireland for even a shorter time, Iceland, and my final place was England, actually, over at Ipswich. And after that, just had to kind of wrap things up and had to figure out my life. And that's where a lot of athletes generally have that problem. What is that transition? But I just remembered how much hard work I put into it for me to become a basketball player. I did the same thing when it came to education. I finally got a position working with special ed kids. And I went into this classroom, and then one day I saw the teacher and how she conducted the classroom. Mm-hmm. I was hooked. I was like, I want to do what you do, because I've sat in so many other classrooms and I was like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. But the way that she formulated, the way that she made the lessons fun, the way that she helped the kids transition, I was like, that's what I want to do. So I basically did what I need to do, follow her for a minute, and she allowed me to teach her class one day. And I will never forget, it was for volumes, for spears, and the cones. And I was hooked. I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to teach. And I used to be terrible at math. I was terrible. Like barely able getting a D, terrible. Like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, I was good. It's when algebra came along. When you start putting the letters and numbers together and you're like, why? Why?
So why?
Exactly. And the Y. And the X.
X.
And that's what everybody probably say. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Right.
Because as soon as algebra kicked in, a lot of people, that's where we lose people. So then I just loved it. I just learned how to appreciate, how to break down those word problems, how to really find multiple ways of getting the same answer. So that just resonated with me. Here we are 19 years later, finally decided I can't be in the classroom anymore. Right. I was just like, I can't do it anymore. I had to go. And this is my first year out. And I decided, you know, I still love education. I still love to teach. So why not do tutoring? Did some research on online tutoring. And then I'm slowly but surely getting my clientele built up. A lot is from referrals. And it's just growing. It's just really growing. And like you said, with the whole blogging, I actually sat down one day and wrote down a blog because one of my former students, he's no longer here, because he was having a hard time with the transition. And I wrote a blog about it, and it caught the eye of someone from LinkedIn. And now they're talking about, let's write a book. Let's see if we can help more young men and young women. So the whole thing about having a blog, just sitting down, writing 500 words, all of a sudden 500 words may turn to 1,000 words. And next thing you know, boom.
Absolutely.
So anyone that's thinking about taking those courses, definitely do it. Write your story.
One of the things that I heard you say, right? One of the things I'm hearing you say is practice. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, we don't necessarily practice algebra, but you have to be in it, right?
Yes.
To sort of win at algebra. Mm-hmm. Now, I liked algebra. It was like the calculus thing.
Yeah.
It was like, please, I'm praying through algebra. I'm doing okay. But the calculus, it was like, why? It was more than why.
Right.
So, and what I heard you say is, you know, you have to stick with it, whether you're talking about your basketball or you're talking about algebra, in order to overcome, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, with particularly Black and brown children, what's difficult about math? What is it?
It's the transition. It's that mindset. First of all, there's so many holes when it comes to a lot of our classrooms. There, you can have a class and all of a sudden they had like 5 or 6 different teachers in one year. You can have like 40 kids in the classroom and they're still going to jam kids in there. You may have a teacher, because remember, not all teachers are skilled. I have to put it out there. I'm going to be truthful.
You said that.
Right. Not all teachers are skilled. So it also depends on what teacher you have and when you're going to have them, especially those crucial ages when they're in elementary school, because we have a lot of teachers. I have a lot of kids that never learned long division. So then when I get them in 11th grade, I'm like, what? Why? They never learned it. So now I got to break it down. But instead of me sulking and yelling and losing my mind, I'm going to break it down to the kids. See, I'm that type of person that, like I said, I wasn't that good in math. And now I'm teaching math because now I understand their struggle. I understand where they're going to have moments of like, I don't know what to do. So then I use my basketball. I use my personality. I use who I am to associate. So now they can make a connection to what they're learning. So it's all like that mindset and having who is leading that classroom. But unfortunately, I can't clone myself. all I can do is just voice it. But there are some that have that similar voice than I do, but their voice isn't being heard. Okay. So what they do is they leave. But how can we save our kids now? It's almost like I'm going to have to keep doing situations like this, you know, get on these podcasts and get out and voice my own little spiel. But I don't know how else other than to be in that room to really tell them, hey, you can do it. Or I can go into the tutoring, because now I can get kids to go from a 37%, which this recent child, she had a 37%, and she finished the quarter with an 80. And I only saw her like a month. And then I had another young lady who never scored anything above a 65. She's got an A now. And her confidence is like, boom, just skyrocketing. And all this is just me taking the time to listen to them. When they're in class, they can't do that. Now we got this thing called Zoom fatigue, because everybody's on Zoom, and you got the teacher, they're like, all right, turn your mic off, Just stop doing this, stop doing that. What are you doing? Get yourself on. And then all of a sudden they're losing it. They're not really, they're learning, but there's so many gaps.
So question, we're not in person. So are you coming to the students virtually? Tell us more about how your business works and how you have that one-on-one relationship with the student.
So when first someone has an interest, I talk to not only the parent, but also the child. So we have like a quick little consultation. Tell me where you need me, or I don't even talk about me. I want to hear about you. So sometimes based on that conversation, I'm like, okay, what are you currently working on? Because for me to give a kid an assessment right now is just going to stress them out more, because kids don't like assessments. They don't know who I am, and I'm giving them more work. So that's just going to be wrong. So I look at what they're currently doing. So let's say, for instance, there was a problem that said 4 minus -3, and they're telling me the answer is 1, because all they're doing is 4 minus 3. They forgot about the negative. So now I'm talking to them not only for solving that problem, but let's talk about subtracting negatives. And they're like, oh, okay. And then we do a little thing, and they're like, oh, why did my teacher tell me that? I'm like, I don't know. All you have to do is this. Every time you see it, like, oh, okay. And then before you know it,
it sounds like you're creating revelations and aha moments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because we don't think that we deal in negatives every day. And so what I hear you saying is that basically you break it on down for the student in their terms for which they can actually hear you, right? And it becomes relatable.
Exactly.
Okay.
Same thing with fractions. Everyone's like, I don't like fractions. I'm like, okay, what's 1/4 out of $1? 25 cents. There you go. 25%, 0.25. Oh! And it's just like, sometimes when you put it into money, they understand that. Like, okay, you owe me $2. And for some reason, you owe me $2 more.
For some reason. Right. We know. Right. We know what's owed to us. It's not for some reason.
Exactly.
We will know what's owed to us in those terms.
But when you put it into that, like, they connect to it.
So I'm going to go back to the teacher. Now, many of the teachers are just overwhelmed, period. And they don't have that opportunity to have the one-on-one. Right. And what I want parents to know is that your child may be doing the best they can in the environment in which they are placed in, right? But there's alternatives. And sometimes you have to seek that out. And what we're doing here today is presenting an alternative or an enhancement or an add-on to what it is that your child is being exposed to. The school is not always the end-all be-all, right?
Yes. Correct. You have to have that communication. And then I know a lot of people say, well, there's after school activities or there's after school tutoring.
Right.
But who's running those after school tutors? It's the tired teacher. And you think the tired teacher wanted to do something extra after school? Not really. Okay. So it's almost like the teacher is basically repeating what he or she is saying during the class period. So maybe you might need someone to have basically the same ideas, but say it in a different way.
Yeah.
And just to ease the tension from you as a parent, because you're like, well, they're learning this new way. And sometimes the new way may be good for your child, but it may not be. So we have to understand that there's going to be multiple representation of getting the same answer.
Right, and we have to be careful not to give up because I remember, and maybe the audience does too, because we're all kind of I think we're all in that same age bracket, right? It's that new math. Okay, now some of y'all remember when the calculator came out, and your parents like, what do you need that for? You're cheating. You're cheating. But somebody had to show us how to use it, And it wasn't necessarily your parent. It wasn't necessarily the teacher. You had to find someone who could assist. And when we talk about a village, you're part of that village, Audrey.
Yes.
You're part of that village that helps children to advance where there might not be enough time. Right? There might not be the right teacher. Sometimes the right teacher can't get things across.
True.
I mean, it's the wrong teacher for that particular student.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not making that connection that they need. Sometimes your child is checked out, right? And needs somebody who's going to connect with them on a certain level that helps them to advance. And I want to say, particularly to our Black and Brown audience members and our Black and Brown students out there, there's no shame in having a tutor. Now, when you get to college, you are looking for a tutor.
Yes.
Okay. Because you are out of that college and out of that class, and you will do anything to get the grade. You have to still consider that at high school, grade school levels to get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes Johnny can read, Johnny can write, and Johnny can do math. We have to do everything that's in our wheelhouse to keep it moving and moving forward. I'm using our tagline. Forgive me, audience, but you can keep it moving forward. Keep it moving forward.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right, because you can't stand still. Mm-hmm. And there's too many of us that are just being pushed forward. And that's the one thing that I always, when I was in the classroom, I fought the fight of making sure that my kids, when they leave out, they understand. So when someone comes across and say, well, do you know how to do this? I'd rather you say, I've seen that before. Oh yeah, now I know. Other than, I have never seen that a day in my life. I don't know what that is. Because that's a horrible feeling to have. Absolutely. Like not knowing. At least you could say, I've seen it, and now I can adjust to it.
And the other thing, I want to make sure that the students know and parents know. We look at calculus like it is a different language, but it's a language that you will find yourself using. Mm-hmm. When we're going through it, we're going like, what are we going to use this for?
Right.
What will we use this for? Then all of a sudden, you're in your job, right? Years later, and you're trying to solve a problem. Yeah. And you end up pulling out of the recesses of your brain, oh, wait a minute, there's a formula for that.
Exactly.
There's a formula for that. And I actually, on my current job, and it wasn't me, but I heard the comment about another employee that they knew how to figure out solving an angle for a vector.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it didn't surprise me. It's just we don't have to. I don't have to solve that.
Right.
I don't think I have to solve that. I hope I don't have to solve that. I'm not gonna pass on that one. But that person needed to solve it. They did not need it for their job, but they pulled it out. They pulled it out of the recesses of their brain, and we didn't have to go hire an engineer.
Exactly.
And people, that's where your value comes in.
Right.
It's like, oh, wait, I could use him or her. And this is what the value that they're bringing to the table.
Yeah. Because you never know when you're going to use it. That's why I try to teach as many versions of math possible. So when you get into that situation, you can handle it. You
Absolutely.
Don't have to outsource. You can handle it yourself.
So Audrey, I'm going to ask you, we didn't talk about this, but I'm going to ask you to relate it. And I know that you're quick on your feet. You're a basketball player, so I know you're going to be quick in answering me. Okay, February for the Women's Forum is Heart Month.
Yes.
It's Heart Month. It's a month of love. But as we're also on Monday, we talked about heart health, right? Mm-hmm. And on Wednesday, we talked about coming from your heart and speaking from the heart. And here it is. I'm with my friend Audrey, and we're talking about math. We're talking about math. So I'm going to ask you, I'm risking, can you relate to us about the heart in the month of February and math?
Sure. You got your rhythms.
All right.
You got your strives.
Okay.
The things that you do actually have that creation. Like, so you have the rhythm of the heart, you have the music, all that's math. Looking at your time, looking at your clock, the way that we're doing this video call right now, all that's math. Wow. But when it comes to the heart, things that you love, TikTok, I know everybody's into TikTok. I can't do it.
I can't do it. If there's somebody out there that wants to share how to do that, let us know.
Yeah, all of this. Yeah, I know. My kids laugh at me if they were seeing me right now. Yeah. But things that you love to do, things that you love to express, all that is math. Just because we don't walk around saying X plus Y equals 24 doesn't mean that it's not mathematically related. Right. Reading the book, figuring out your time, all that is math. And some of the things that you love, figuring out who is the one, taking a look at the listing, that's math. What are the things that you're looking for that significant other? What are those things that you love to do? What are those things that you're like, it kind of is okay. All that is math. So it's like everything that you're doing is math related. The designs, your earrings, the clothing that we wear, the designs with our little outfit, all that is math. So even when we're talking with the heart, things that makes our heart beat, things that just makes our heart stand still with fear, all that's math related.
Oh, that's math. Okay, I challenged her. You can't challenge the basketball player,
right?
Okay.
You can try.
You can challenge anybody else, but you can't challenge the math because it's on when you challenge the basketball player. Miss Audrey.
Yes, ma'am.
Leave us with some encouraging words for our women that are out there looking at our broadcast. It doesn't have to be math related, but leave us with something to encourage us as we go through this weekend and as we approach the next week and as we approach the Women's Leadership Forum. Leave us with some words of encouragement.
So each and every day that you wake up, I'm so happy that you are awake and you're alive. There's going to be times it is hard, but no matter what, you have support. You have support from here on the Women's Leadership Forum. You have support with other women. Look at what's happening around. We have a female women's VP. Come on. We have women that are making moves. And guess what? so can you. It's up to you to want to do it. Don't let anybody get in your way. Because for me, playing basketball overseas, trust and believe, I had to play against the boys in order for me to play against the strong women. That prepared me for that step. So in order for me to do that, I had to get past the foolishness. You'll never be good. You'll never do this. But if you keep believing that, you're not going to achieve your greatness. And you are beyond greatness. You are valued. So here's my thing. No matter how the day goes, do it for you. You are worth it. And plus, come to this women's forum, please, because you're going to get those tools to actually go from here to here. I'm telling you, just the small steps. Take the small steps. Do not let it hold you back.
Well, she said all that I wanted to say about the women's leadership forum. It's the place to connect. It's the place to be. And where will it be? Oh my gosh, it's coming to you again virtually. It's coming to you on March 18th through the 20th. You know what? My team reminded me, we are almost 30 days away. Mm-hmm. Depending on how you count, we had a debate on that. See how I hooked the math up in here?
I see.
Depending on how you count, we have either 30 or 31 days, and we are trying to encourage you to register, invest in yourself so that you can get to your greatness even faster. We have coaches, we have mentors, we have math tutors that are going to be in attendance. And so you heard Audrey, if you are not talking math with her, if you just heard what she said, she'll be there just to encourage you.
Yes.
Just to encourage you. This COVID period has got us cooped up in the house, thinking about what's next, what to do. Some of us are going in a circle trying to figure out, how, why, when. Oh, woe is me, right? Should I take the vaccine? Shouldn't I take the vaccine? Now, I'm not going to tell you one way or another. I'll just tell you I took it. Okay, I'm still here. That's all I'm going to say. But get your information. We are a source. We are a source. And we think that we're valuable enough. We value what it is that we bring to the table. We have enough experts that you're not going to have to look too far for your question to be answered. So come join us. Now, that's my cue to tell you what's coming up. Now, oh Lord, on Monday, we are back to health and wellness. Now, everybody pray for me because I'm going to be with Blake Bussie, and Blake Bussie has me doing Zumba. Now, I can move to the left and to the right, but all that he has to offer, you're going to want to be there because he gets you to moving. He's a very funny guy. He's a very motivated person, and he gets you motivated. So I welcome you there on Monday. I know it's a holiday. And what time did I say? I said 6 o'clock. So after you all have been watching with Wendy Williams and the judges and everybody else, come on and join us at 6 o'clock and get your little free workout on. It's 15, 20 minutes long. And if you've never done Zumba, we won't know whether you're doing Zumba or not. You have to account for yourself, right? So it's a way to get your exercise on. All right, now it's still February.
Yes.
And this is day 12. We have somebody who's Black in business and has a business that's Black. Okay, we're going to continue to celebrate the rest of the days. We have 16 more days to celebrate for Black businesses, okay? And guess what? We celebrate them on Facebook, on Instagram, where you can find us through our hashtag, and we post businesses that are run by minorities, particularly Blacks. And so we invite you to like and heart and everything else, comment, give them a high five, whatever else you do. We invite you to show those businesses some love, including Miss Audrey's business, which is ACG Math Tutoring.
Yes.
Where does that leave us? When we get out of February, we're gonna march right on in to the Women's Leadership Forum.
Yes.
And then we will have a new focus. February is the heart, and March, because we're marching in, we're gonna focus in on how we walk and our feet. So we're gonna march right on into the Women's Leadership Forum, March 18th through the 20th. And you can purchase tickets on the website, which is forwardwlf.org. Do y'all like how I got that together? Forwardwlf.org, or find us through our hashtag forwardwlf. Now, I want to say, Miss Audrey, and to our viewing audience, we appreciate all of you all. I'm coming to you once again. Woo! Don't be jealous, y'all, but I'm coming to you from the Ritz-Carlton in Tyson's Corner. And I continue, to be masked up, keep my social distance from all the people that are here at the Ritz, and I will always wash my hands because they got good soap in here. Okay, so we're going to continue to mask up. We're going to continue to be socially distant. We're going to follow all the rules, washing our hands, using a hand sanitizer, because we want to see you again, and especially at the Women's Leadership Forum. So again, Miss Audrey, we thank you for appearing here today. Some people want to know, where can they find you, Miss Audrey?
So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. You can also go to my website, which is acgmathtutoring.com.
acgmathtutoring.com.
Yes, ma'am. Anywhere you want to get me.
Yeah, and for the business people, you looking for, tutoring for yourself or for your children. Exactly. You can also find Miss Audrey on LinkedIn.
Yes. Okay. I'm on LinkedIn and also Clubhouse. On Clubhouse too. I know, right?
Just discovering that. You can catch me on Clubhouse Wednesday and Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. But Miss Audrey is on. When are you on there, Audrey?
Wednesdays at 2 p.m.
Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Yeah. So if you want to hear more from Miss Audrey, join her on that Clubhouse. You got to have an invitation, right? So you could join her on Clubhouse. So again, we appreciate you. We appreciate all that you have to offer. And you can also find Miss Audrey on our website. We have her pinned to our page as a resource because we want you to have all that you need and some. So until next Monday, have a wonderful weekend. Have a great President's Day, and have a lovely Valentine's Day. I want to wish all the women out there and the men, have a great Valentine's Day. Celebrate well, celebrate often, and be good out there. I'm going to see you next time.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.